do run the Moira and Baptiste. Get off it.
Okay. Look, mate, there's a reason you're not the coach.
Yeah, and there's
You
also
don't know
a reason
anything.
why they haven't been winning, isn't there?
Oh, so you're saying it's
I'm blasting RQT
RQT's
right
fault.
here. Blasting him.
get on the Twitter.
He's got far more Twitter followers than I have. I'll leave that one alone. But it does look like they're going to be running up against a bunker comp on the side of Order. Yuki on the Pharah, Sign on the Hanzo. They're going to scout this, and how are they going to adjust to it? And how is Adam going to get through all this spam? Quite easily, it seems.
If he goes through the right.
Yeah, it seems like he just ran through the choke, to be honest with you. So I'm going to swap off to a Goat's composition. Adam translocates back to the spawn, and it looks like they're going to use the Moira Goat. So this is a point they're trying to bunkers themselves on point.
Oh, well, that's going to work. Addy may have a bit more difficulty finding picks against a Goat setup.
Adam's got to be on point to catch Addy out here. He's got to really shut him down. We saw what happened on Ilios when he wasn't shut down and was given free reign. Those support heads starting to look awfully big in Addy's scope.
It wasn't the worst May wall, but it certainly wasn't the best from August.
The May flashbacks are coming for the side of Water.
Indeed, well, they'll have another opportunity here. Holt's going to be there as well, but it's just going to grab Quat. So the shield goes up with him. And now Mindfreak do the Ring of Rosie, and they're back on the floor into the cafe. Order's chasing him around. It's like a game of cat and mouse. Right now the mouse is winning.
It seems so, but Sinder's in that position that he wants to be. But he does get headshot straight away by Addy, but can he get the second headshot?
Oh!
He does! He knocks Sign's head clean off, and that's really all the damage done for Order. Kiki getting a kill on his Jordation as well. This attack has fallen apart.
Man, that is pretty impressive, because those are the shots that are the hardest to hit.
Oh,
It's like when you hit the first one, you're like, okay, but then the pressure's all there because you know that in 5 or 10 seconds, this guy's going to be full HP again. I need to hit this next shot. He's able to do it. Looks like Adam might actually get away here.
Oh, he will just get his mech back. Does he remech? Yeah, he does now. Alright, so he does escape. Got away safely, did the Adam Prodigy child.
That's a bit disappointing for Mindfreak. The wall goes too deep for August to really be of much impact. Order are going to be pretty happy with that, and immediately the big key factor for Mindfreak is out of the picture. That's Addy dropping early. Molten Cores out from Kiki, and so is Whole Hog from Aki, which is able to get one frag. Blizzard unfortunately goes straight into the hungry mouth of Adam. Bots will fall, but I think there might just be a little bit too much damage done here by Order unless the reinforcements get here very quickly indeed. And
it's going to be difficult with this bongo down. A lot of damage. This whole hook combo almost one-shots anybody. As you see, Sign going down instantly. Swilko goes down, but Addy trades back onto Hunter. Hunter hasn't been able to play the game this series. He just keeps getting headshot.
Oh, that's a great hook as well. Keeps Addy alive. He was looking very scared indeed. Somehow Adam gets two though with the self-destruct. It's Aki and August to go down. I suppose August trying to get back to the point, but Aki was really bunkered down. It's a bit of a prolonged take here from Order, but sooner or later they are going to finish the job off.
Adam, how important has he been this series? You saw on Volsky really opening up that first point and the second point with those 1v1 kills, and now he comes through and cleans up two with the bomb and another one with the shift to open this point up for Order. God, without him, they'll be looking really rough so far. He's proven to be the star player that he has been for so long for this team. The ults now favour the side of Order as Mindfreak swap over. 6 ult swap straight away. They're going to need to get a very fast fight off here to build those ultimates and stop the cart.
Order's already halfway through the point.
Yeah, it's been a really, really slow take from Mindfreak, and that's what happens when you give up a point or two of attack on that first point.
August totally isolated as well. This is looking a bit more vintage Order. More what we're used to. Maybe they're finally back, Smash.
Yeah, it does look like vintage Order, and Yuki, unfortunately, it's unluckily pinned into the cart. That is the Order we all know and love. And Hunter goes back to spawn to ferry Jordation and Yuki back. Jordation now swapping onto that Zenyatta. He'll feel a lot more comfortable on that hero. I think that's a hero that he's really excelled at. The role swap from DPS to flex support. His Zenyatta at the end of last season, even in China, it looked really, really good. And this is where Order want to be on this comp, this mirror matchup.
Yeah, well, it's almost a do or die now for Mindfreak, but look at what they have to play with. There's absolutely nothing there at all.
Order with a beautiful aggression. Hunter in the backline, booping bust in. The rally coming through leads to massive aggression, and Order will capture this point pretty easily, it seems like.
Yeah, doesn't seem like there's going to be much of a fight from Mindfreak. And indeed, not even a single player for Order drops. So we're into phase C with 3.5 minutes. It's not the most amount of time we've seen here.
And the last two fights have cost 1 Brig ult. That's all that's cost for Order. They've won 2 fights off 1 big ult. That's a disaster for Mindfreak. They're not getting their ults out, they're not building ults of their own, and that's just not what you want in this GOATS v GOATS matchup.
Certainly not. Alright, well finally Mindfreak have established themselves at least a little bit of ult economy, with Kiki coming up on self-destruct, Bus on Earth Shatter respectively. Early investment from Mindfreak, rather from Order, and it almost actually works out for Mindfreak. If they get that kill on Designed, might have been able to turn the fight around, but straight away again, it's just a 1 ult fight for Order. Just Graviton Surge used. And Mindfreak, they're getting so cleanly wiped that they're not getting time to build their own ultimates at all.
Yeah, you're right there. Aki has, 3 fights, and Aki and Addy are only at 80, mid 80s, so they will get their fight before the ult, get their ult before the fight this time around. But how are they going to use it? Adam's already been shown that he's eat the Blizzard the first time. Will he eat the Graviton Surge now? He loves this part of the map. He loves playing deeper in this part of the map.
Yeah,
very easy to read players here.
Very, very good at it. And Quartz with an Earth Shadow. Well, his Shadow was perhaps very easily read by Bust as it's blocked. And Yuki goes down early to said Reinhardt. It's going to be Order to probably just back away here. They've invested a little bit. Maybe once the reinforcements come in, once Yuki rejoins the team, we're going to see the recommitment, and it's off the back of a self-destruct. That's Bust is going to go down. Now Graviton Surge out from Addy. And the sound barrier as well. For Mindfreak, they're going to push on forward, and well, signed with this Graviton Surge, it's not going to be too much of a problem, as he doesn't really have anyone to back him up.
This fight's over for the side of Order. Finally, they lose a fight, but there was so many ults committed. That Mindfreak fight there was more expensive than an Elfishguy haircut. It cost him 4.
Oh, well, that's only $30, mate. It's not that expensive.
You're joking.
I know. Actually, haven't had a haircut in a while.
Must be for the head. You must be friends with the hairdresser or something. Get mates rates there. Anyway.
Been there since the beginning, mate. He should be my friend at this point. Anyway.
Hopefully he remembers your name.
I don't think so. Unfortunate indeed. Anyway, Mindfreak will have to hold off at least another probably couple of pushes here with not a whole lot to their name. This is the one Order should be winning. Shadow goes straight into the shield again of Bust. Quats low, which will force Transcendence out from Jordation, but Graviton Surge, that is the one that is getting the job done for Order right now. Signed has picked up a couple, and Bust, even despite getting a kill with an Earth Shatter and a decent one across, got Signed on the ground as well. It just does not seem like it's going to be enough. And Order will finish off with time available. Addy, a desperation Graviton Surge, but doesn't catch Signed.
A good result from Order, I think. They'll be happy with that, but Quads has shown just blatant disregard for teamwork today. He's just shattering into that shield as Yuki's running up, preparing that bash. That's twice on that endpoint there. We saw the shatter come out and then the bash from Yuki. Quads has got to be a lot more patient on this, otherwise he's just wasting his ultimate. Whereas Bus and Kiki, Bus and August have been nailing that bash shot combo over and over and over again. So that's something that Order needs to look at going into this second half of Hollywood. And we saw the reason why Order were able to cap out this map, and really the fact that Mindfreak gave up that whole second phase, it was just because the bunker composition, swapping from the bunker onto the 3-3 composition when your opponent has already been on the 3-3 composition, it just leads you to lose the next 2 fights for free, essentially. And if you don't contest the cart early, you only get those 2 fights in the second phase, and then all of a sudden you're in a whole heap of trouble.
Yeah, such a huge economic advantage for Order throughout, I would say 3/4, maybe even more of that map.
Yeah, if you are swapping off to that 3-3 composition, you want to be taking your first fight like in that gate area that Jordation just ran past there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the ideal first fight situation, because that means you get the 3 fights on the second phase and you kind of stabilize the ult combinations that you can bring out too. You stabilize the ult economy. But Mindfreak, they have shown a tendency to play DPS on the first point of these hybrids maps, the 2CP and the hybrids. And it looks like nothing different here. Addy on the Widow, maybe they're looking for a pick off early, see if no one's ill-disciplined. It won't be the case.
Same with Hanzo, but he's just going to go straight back onto Mercy for the Pharah here. Kiki's been able to get a pretty decent amount of work done with the Pharah so far throughout today's matches.
I think Order will be confident here. They've got the right composition to deal with this. Having the Ana instead of the Zenyatta and Adam on the Diva to deal with the Widowmaker. Let's see if they can put it into play.
Bionade's going to go through from Aki. Doesn't really result in too much. That's risky from Signed. He almost went down running around that corner. He does get healed back on up, and once again we're back to safety for the Order roster. Kiki perhaps a bit of a rude awakening as he drops onto the balcony there, and all of Order comes storming up the stairs. Keeping an eye on Kiki's ultimate meter, 73%. We're starting to get there for the Rocket Barrage.
That will be the go time. As soon as August can find this, he's stalking him on the point, but Jordation, like 2 ships in the night, crosses over. Swilko under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, it does just get back up into the sky. The armor pack on his Swilko as well, so he's okay. That was desperate times for Mindfreak, but they do push on through. Kiki likes to play very aggressively on this Varus. So close to all of order. Anyway, 1 for 1 as Aki gets dropped as well. Signed a second for order, and Rocket Barrage as well has unfortunately been invested perhaps just a little bit too late.
Signed with 3 in the fight. Manages to get the key kill of the Rocket Barraging Pharah too. When you are Rocket Barraging, you are kind of a standing still target. It makes it very easy for Azaria to dump high energy damage into you. The right click into the beam takes you down almost instantly. Order starting that fight off not too great with Yuki being picked off, but they managed to stabilize it pretty well. And it looks like they have a good idea of how to deal with this DPS composition. They have a nice spread of their teams. They're not going to all get EMP'd, but speaking of EMP, it will be coming out this fight.
So is Graviton Surge. Pile driver through from Bus. Sign is going to go low, but there's an armor pack just in time to heal him on back up.
Nano boost on the Pharah will help this barrage build faster. The EMP will not come out. Now it will, but it's a bit too late as the Graviton Surge has already come out and Adam to clean up 3.
Seems like a failure of execution so far from Mindfreak, really.
Yeah, they haven't been able to sync their ults together. They've used the EMP, the barrage, the nano boost all at different times, and that's completely the opposite of what you want to do when you're playing these DPS compositions. You want to sync all those ultimates up, get lots of kills really quickly, and then get onto the point.
Well, I suppose there's still enough time to charge the ultimates up. Minute and 20. August can definitely get an EMP built up there. The barrage is not far away. But is Kiki going to hold on to it? The minefield goes down early. That's going to result in the kill onto Quad. So Bus has started the fight off well for his team. Are they going to be able to finish it well? Well, it's a great sleep dart. Signed is not going to get the help that he needs. Rocket Barrage through. Kiki standing still in midair is not going to work out nicely at all. Unta will finish that one. But again, it's just not the clean fight win here for Mindfreak that they need. It's a nice one onto Unta. But the shatter here from Quads probably results in the end of August. Looks like he translocated out just in time. Still, reinforcements have arrived for Order. The respawns are here, and it was good work from Mindfreak, but not enough.
Yeah, you really need those multi-kills to come through, but they're just not getting them. Quads goes down to the mines, getting isolated in the little cafe area, but it just wasn't enough to open the point up for the side of Mindfreak. As Sign gets hacked, he might be able to get picked off here, he does, but it's a 1-for-1 trade as Adam finds Addy. This is disastrous for Mindfreak. Time's closing out. The nano boost goes out onto Kiki. The EMP's coming soon, but will it be in time?
I don't know that it will. Rocket Barrage certainly won't. So it's going to have to be on the EMP. Connects onto 3. Some good damage being done. Obviously, no shield available means the rockets from Kiki doing a lot more damage. What a sleep, though. Jordation will finish Kiki off as well. And I think this might indeed be Order to full hold on Hollywood. Adam with the self-destructs will go low. Aki now under pressure as well. And even as well as you can see on the kill feed on the point, there's just nothing happening for Mindfreak. Order are going to go up 2-1. That's a dominant win on Hollywood. You know, if we had any questions about Volskaya, that's going to put anything to bed.
Yeah, it definitely did. Order looked good, but Mindfreak, they looked very sloppy. Not comboing those ults together at all, not getting value out of the EMP. The barrages, minimal value, just 1 kills. The nano's never with the barrage, never with the EMPs. Oh, that looks sloppy from Mindfreak. Hopefully they can keep their composure and come into this 4th map and get some fight back in them.
Well, they certainly need it. Havana is the next map, but there on Hollywood, it sort of felt like a direct opposite of what we got on Ilios, where Mindfreak, they could use any kind of a composition anywhere that they wanted to, and it worked. Well, you kind of put that in Order's back pocket this time. They used pretty much everything. Mindfreak used pretty much everything, and pretty much everything went the way of Order, so...
Order playing all 3 variants of Goats, Zenyatta, Ana, and Moira there on that point.
And did DPS.
Yeah, they played a bit of DPS too. They enjoyed it. It looked like much more comfortable setup from Order. They definitely had a good idea of how to play against the DPS on that first point Hollywood you saw.
Yeah.
The 3-3 split or the 2-2-2 split on the map, so nobody was going to get cleaved or EMP'd or isolated by themselves. So that was well executed by Order as well on the defense. It is quite difficult dealing against those DPS compositions. Very high stress, high pressure situations.
Yeah, you got to feel a little bit sorry for Mindfreak in a sense, because we've been sort of asking for this entire season, where is Order? You know, when are they coming back? Are they coming back? We just sort of felt like it was a matter of time. And, you know, if Mindfreak would have played them in week 3 when Legacy played Order, you might have thought, well, Mindfreak probably would have won the series by now.
Yeah,
but it seems like it's just been just long enough for Order to kind of kick themselves into gear. They're facing one of the top opponents this season, and it happens to be Mindfreak, who right now are sitting in second place and would have loved to have been sitting in second place at the end of this week as well. But if they lose today against Order, then that sort of brings that back into the bit of a discussion for anywhere really understanding. That's how close things are at the moment.
Teams like Ground Zero can start working their way up. You know, Atletico might have a sniff if they can get the win over Warriors. It's starting to heat up, and Order coming back into form just at the right time of the season. But Havana's next, and that map can go anyway. That's a very difficult map. It's not an easy map to cap at all. So one thing goes wrong, and you can be left out in the dust there. Well,
we've seen a lot go wrong for Order this season. For today, it looked like, you know, we might be seeing it again rear its ugly head, I suppose, with Ilios going so clean in the way of Mindfreak, and then like on Volskaya, I guess you could make a bit of an argument that like, oh, you know, it was pretty close. But that one on Hollywood has started to make me feel a bit more confident in this Order roster again.
Yeah, it looked like they had their discipline back, and that is how you beat the DPS compositions and you deal with the compositions on the fly. If you're disciplined and you don't give up your life very easily, it can be harder for those compositions to get into position, and then once they are in position, it's, you know, they're closer to you, so your tanks can get more damage out. Your signed Zarya can start doing a lot of damage. Your Adam can find those isolated heroes. So having that discipline today on Hollywood that they didn't have on Ilios Lighthouse was very good to see that they're adapting as the series goes on.
Yeah. Well, important times now for Order. It's been a while since they've had a really solid win. In fact, I wouldn't say I think that they've had a solid win this season at all. A 3-2 against Legacy is not good enough as far as I'm concerned for the former champions, and a 2-1 against Sydney Drop Bears, who had major roster changes and haven't been looking good this season. But a 3-1 over Mindfreak would be a bit of a confidence builder, I think, for Order. Not only that, but it's going to put them in a much better spot on the standings. It's going to put them at 3-2, and it's also going to knock Mindfreak down to 3-2 as well. Which actually keeps Order's second place run alive.
Just alive, yep. They need results to go their way, I believe. I think they need Ground Zero results to go their way, but it does keep that dream alive. And of course, the first place if Warriors decide to take a nap.
Which may be possible. Order hasn't played against Warriors yet, you know, so if Order beats Mindfreak and then Order beats Warriors, that's 2-1 out of the picture. Is it possible still for Order to finish the season in first place? I don't know about that.
A boy can dream. There's a lot of boys in that Order squad, very young, talented team.
Yep.
Now starting to get their act together. As we see the start of the map commence, the fight on the cart always happens.
Blast goes so low. There's a Bionade over onto Unta, but he's not being focused down at all. This is a great start to the map for Order. Sometimes it can take upwards of a minute and a half to get through that initial fight, but it's been very quickly done by Order.
Yeah, and this is where they want to be. They want to be versing the Sombra Goats. They're very comfortable verse it compared to other compositions, so they'll be happy to see this coming out from Mindfreak. Order, they haven't had the best of times on this map though, so maybe a little more confidence coming out of that win off Hollywood.
Yeah, Order haven't had a win on Havana this season. Mindfreak have, but again, small data sets. Not a whole lot really to go off, and Order's definitely looking a lot better today than they have in previous weeks. Quats has almost got the shatter up.
Dropping very low and anti-nated too, so he's struggling. The armor pack comes out while he's still anti, so it's going to take a little bit longer for him to heal up. He's under a lot of pressure, still sub 500 HP. And this shatter is going to be key. Orcus with his EMP. Who's going to pull the trigger first? Will it be the shatter? Will it be the EMP?
Looks like it's the EMP. Saw it flying across with the translocator. It does only connect onto Quats and Yuki, and it will be hacked up as well. But the fight is definitely going the way of Order at this point, and the unfortunate situation for Mindfreak is there that they did not get the EMP onto Signed, and Signed got the Graviton Surge onto them. So
it was a beautiful split by Order too. They saw the EMP targets ran up the staircase away from the line of sight of the Ana, the Zarya of the Mindfreak squad. Jordation not getting hit by that EMP, comes in with Transcendent, saves them lives, tops them up, and Signed with the counter grab, really punishing the extension of Mindfreak. So that's a really good start from Order. 4 minutes 30 on the clock. That's a lot of time on Havana.
Huge time bank to play with. But
The second point can be quite easy to get through if you have an ultimate advantage, but Addy's Graviton Surge, it will be interesting to see how they're going to make this work.
Adam's going to have that defense matrix up, but he won't be able to eat the Graviton Surge. Does throw in the self-destruct, however, and that forces all of Mindfreak away, which means nothing really comes from the Graviton Surge. Apparently, Side was the one to find a pick out of all of that. Addy not able to do a whole lot, and Mindfreak are routed once again. They have to fall back.
Yeah, Order didn't have the Transcendence for that Graviton Surge, so you would have thought that it was a good time to use it, but Adam able to use his Diva Bomb defensively there to stop any aggression going into that Grav, which means that Order can come through and clean up some kills after they displace the team. Bus ended up going forward into the team, getting counter-stunned by Yuki, and he goes down very quickly after that.
Well, here comes Bus once again. Graviton Surge available for Sign. The EMP did not connect onto him, so he's got all the time in the world, and even despite this sound barrier going down, a lot of damage goes into the Graviton Surge. No kill though. So a nice sound barrier from Swilko. Maybe gives Order a bit of a pause for thought and some more breathing room for Mindfreak. Finally, they're going to win a fight.
Bus's Earth Shadow did get cancelled there, so that could have been disastrous for Mindfreak, but that Swilko sound barrier really steadied up the fight. But how are they going to deal with this next round of ultimates coming out from Order? They have the Earth Shadow, they have the sound barrier themselves. They're getting closer to that Diva Bomb too, and there's still 3 minutes on the clock. That's at least 2 or 3 good fights here. It will be difficult to get through onto the point now though. Mindfreak are holding quite aggressively, trying to build that ultimate charge up for Addy.
The only ultimate available here for Mindfreak, so if someone goes onto the floor from that shatter, I mean, I guess maybe the nano boost alive.
Swilko in position to really ruin Potts' day with these boops, but the hack comes out first, and that will mean aggression will come out from Mindfreak. Bus pushes past the car, but is forced back by the side of Order.
Yeah, this has taken a long time though for Order, and luckily for Mindfreak, that means 96% is up on the Graviton Surge. Will Addy be able to build it in time, or does Order commence the engagement? Oh, well, with a pick like that, I'm sure they're going to completely commit on in. Sound barrier goes down from Unturned to keep the Order boys alive through the Graviton Surge, and for Mindfreak, yeah, it was good work keeping that fight from starting for such a long time, but it really results in not a whole lot for them.
Results in a cheap fight for Order too. They only use the sound barrier there to counter out the Graviton Surge from Mindfreak. That Jordation Zenyatta, it's an absolute pest. He's walking around corners, 5-balling randomly out of nowhere, and unfortunately for Aki, he wears one right on the chin, and that means he goes down with his nano boost available too. Now they'll be able to get a good early hold here on this third point of Havana, which means they can possibly get 3 fights in. This is a very long point with very long sightlines. Very good for Ana. The August EMP will come through now.
Alright, that's going to be the start of the fight. Mindfreak push on forward. Bust uses it to put the Earth Shatter down as well, but Jordation is not affected by any of it at all. He gets his own Transcendence through Graviton Surge and Earth Shatter once again, and trade of ultimates, this time favouring Order. And still purple. It feels like he's been purple for a lot this map, but really when you're not getting focused down, when you're not a main tank or anything like that, and particularly when you're a Lucio, it's going to be really hard to capitalize on a Bionade going through there. So, another team fight going to be picked up by Order.
And Jordation is putting on an absolute Zenyatta clinic. First point, he gets the beautiful Transcendence to save the EMP. Third point, he gets the beautiful Transcendence to save the EMP. And he opens up the fight, last fight in second phase with the pick. This is the Jordation that we saw last season on the Zenyatta towards the end at the LAN finals. It's good to see him returning to form on a hero he's very comfortable on.
Oh.
He's alright.
Oh my god, what the heck happened there? Alright, well, seems we're okay for Mindfreak. It was a spot of bother perhaps, but
August has built up another fast EMP though. He just used this last fight, now he's got another one. He must be farming that off Adam.
Spending a lot of time in the backlines of Order.
Mindfreak now have a lot of good ultimates here to use. And in comes the EMP from August, and it catches everybody. Jordation gets a trance off, but it's just too late.
Yeah, I was watching it. It was at 97% when Quads went down. And he just couldn't quite build it in time, which is so unfortunate for Order. It now means that not only is the fight lost, but Transcendence is going to be a long, long way away.
It's a worst case scenario. Now they don't even have the beat drop to counter this Graviton Surge out of Addy, so they really need to play well around this. They need to spread out, and Adam needs to be on his toes here.
Adam looking for a big eat. He gets moved off of the high ground, which is going to make his life a bit more difficult, but no chance of eating that one for Adam. Straight into the side of the payload. Well, Addy's taking quite a bit of damage in the meanwhile, and so is Kiki. Shadow looks to have been blocked there, cancelled at the very least by the shield bash, and Quantus certainly will not be, as he gets bust on the floor, finished off by Adam August with an EMP, but perhaps the 5-man EMP too little too late here for Mindfreak. The only real success to come from it is the D-mech on Adam. Contenders goes through from Jordation, just in case. It's an insurance measure.
Bus
won't
comes
last too
out.
long.
No, he comes out and goes straight back into the spawn. Aki on the Tracer. He likes to play this in quick play, but it's not going to work now as he takes a mace to the face. But Yuki has cancelled 2 shatters there in that round of buses. One on the second point, one on the third point. So he's on his toes today. Adam not getting the grav eats, but Yuki getting the shatter cancels. And that does look like the order of old. They use their ultimates very well. They have good fight plans, and Zion managing to use his Graviton Surge there to counter the Graviton Surge of Addy just long enough for Unt to get his sound barrier up and save everyone was really key in that fight there. If they invested all those ults and lost the fight, that would have been just disastrous.
Map over, really.
Yeah, it would have been that's as far as you're getting the cart, fellas. But they do manage to cap it out with 26 seconds remaining, and that's a big feat. Havana, very hard map to cap. That third point is an absolute doozy.
There you go. Took the words right out of my mouth, Smash. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I could not see you saying doozy at
Doozy.
all.
That's a doozy.
It's a doozy.
You're a bit of a doozy. That's what I
Guilty
reckon.
as charged.
So it's not the most imposing time for Mindfreak. Like 26 seconds. It's obviously not a huge time bank, but the issue can be even just still finishing the map, right? And when we saw on Hollywood, couldn't even get past point A, which again not going to be as much of a problem here for Mindfreak because it's a payload. Didn't really see how their payload got to go on Hollywood, unfortunately, but
yeah, they didn't get the payload, but they look like a bit of indecision here. We got Addy on the Widow, Bus on the ball. Maybe they're deciding if they want to play the DPS composition or if they want to play that 3-3 or that Sombra composition. It looks like they will be going for a DPS-based composition this Wilco going onto the Mercy. Kiki hasn't got the memo though.
Okay.
Now he goes over. Maybe he's tapped out. Look at his messages. But now the game starts. In order with that close hold has been shown so much. Jordation already picked off by August.
Yeah, not what you want when you're holding in a position like this. So
Not at all.
goes for order. A nice trade onto August, but this is really about buying as much time as possible before the fight is lost, because that's really all that it should be, though. Sign somehow does actually get the kill onto Bus. He's probably not going to last too much longer here, with Kiki bearing down upon him. Adam still contesting the point.
Ooh.
Well, could be worse for Order. I mean, I would have thought that fight would have gone a lot quicker for Mindfreak after getting the initial kill onto Jordation.
It took 50 seconds off the clock, but it's really hard to just like uproot this 3-3 composition if the Brigitte and the Zarya are still alive. They're really hard to dislodge. They do a lot of damage and they live for such a long time. Let's see Bus taking out Jordation, already kicking the barrage, takes down 2. This is beautiful for Mindfreak. This is exactly what they would have wanted.
Yeah, that was a lot quicker than I expected, and I feel as though probably a lot quicker than what Order expected. They were not playing around it as they would have accordingly.
No, Jordation must have taken a body shot or a rocket or something, because that ball from Bus managed to capitalize on that very quickly.
That said, such a quick wipe for Order kind of gives them the opportunity to recontest this. It'll be their 3rd fight in Phase A.
And the Graviton Surge is coming up from Sign, but the thing he's going to be worried about is that EMP from August. Doesn't get any. Oh, he gets 33 energy there. A good start.
Some mines available to him if he really needs the energy, but that comes across just early enough. No time to charge the Graviton Surge up. Well done from August. Had a couple of iffy ultimates in the defensive round for Mindfreak, but this one...
That was a very big EMP.
Very good.
Very costly, but they have to get Yuki off this card. He's delaying for a long time now. Quats is going to be able to come back in. He's not close enough for his ultimate, and Sign is just going to be forced to stagger onto the card.
He did get there. Thought that he wasn't quite going to, but 4 minutes and 14, we talked about how much time Order came into this phase of the map with, and I think that was about 3.5.
Mindfreak one-upping them at the moment.
Yeah, Mindfreak.
But this is where it becomes difficult. The indoor, the distillery, Ben Green's favourite place, but not a Farah's favourite place. With a roof on top, makes it very difficult to play. It'll be interesting to see how they make this work. The barrage does come up, but Adam now, full Matrix coming up soon. He's looking to eat that. He uses his Matrix, and he's going to get punished for it as Kiki comes through with the barrage. Hunter's beat not soon enough. Bus goes down to the the self-destruct, but still advantage for Mindfreak here.
Yeah, Kiki copping quite a lot of damage from Adam, who's trying to turn this fight around in the favor of Order, but just not able to. This is a really disastrous situation, it feels like, for Order as they're trying to stagger on back in. And again, Adam so close yet so far. Gets woken back up, but Aki is being pocketed by Swilko. And Adam, even with the nano boost, was not able to find a whole lot. Perhaps the Bunny Blaster is powerful than the Diva Mech in that instance, as he dispatches of August, and the rest of Mindfreak are going to fall in the meanwhile as well.
Yeah, you saw the mistake from Adam using that Matrix. Kiki took full advantage of it, but it wasn't enough. Buster goes down to the Diva Bomb. That really sets up the fight to continue on in favor of Order. Is that 3-3 composition, very difficult to remove. It was cute to see that sleep saving his friend there, Aki, hitting the sleep to save young Kiki. But now the EMP comes out. This is where stuff starts to get messy for Order.
Well, Primal Rage is already used, so even if the EMP does come across, it's not going to matter too much against Quartz.
That's not your home Quartz. He's hacked too. He's going to get punished. Bust with the big charge back, but he's managing to kite this hack out very well, and he gets the shield from Sign, but it's not enough to bail him out. And now they'll charge forward on the side of Mindfreak.
Yeah, August doesn't have the translocator just yet, so it's going to be more difficult for him to get the EMP, but waiting for it. Manual hack onto Adam.
Oh, and Adam drops out the window too.
That's very problematic indeed. It means that the EMP can be held here, which is kind of what Mindfreak really needs.
Order will be running headfirst into an EMP this fight with no defensive ults. The rally will be coming up from Yuki, but will it be enough to save you from that EMP? I don't think so. Sign goes for the early grab to try and punish them out and catch them out, but the nano boost onto Bust manages to save his life. That damage reduction means that he's not going to go down anytime soon.
Yeah, I think Order are very well aware that the EMP is available and they're trying to play around it accordingly, but they're just getting that fight they need. Still, the rally was built, as you say, and maybe if Jordation can get a nice nano boost onto one of his players through that EMP, then they might be able to survive through this one Order, but it's a bit wishful thinking. Fox is going to get the nano boost early to try and force some problems.
Yeah, they used the nano. They used the nano and the rally there to get aggressive, really take the fight to them, make this EMP a lot harder to use. And now they have decent positioning. Sign on this high ground is going to build a lot of ult charge, and the way Order is spreading out versus this EMP makes August very hesitant to use it. He doesn't want to use it on one target because then the nano boost and the single target healing comes through, but I think he sees an opening here.
Yeah, he's going to look for it. EMP does go down, connects 3, Quat Sign and Unta. Those are some pretty premium targets. Adam does get his self-destruct down, but it doesn't cause any problems for Mindfreak. And finally, it seems the fight that they were looking for has eventuated, with Bust finding a couple of picks, and Addy's still putting damage in, 84% energy. That's going to be point B captured by Mindfreak.
It was fantastic work from Order, though, to make the worst out of a bad situation, or make the best out of a bad situation, I should say. They had no support ults to deal with this EMP, so they positioned themselves very nicely to deal with it. It made August's job incredibly hard, and only until Order started to give up that discipline and move together as a team, that's when August saw that EMP combo chance, and he gets 2 with it, or 3 with it, and 2 with the shadow means the fight's over for the side of Order, as Quats goes chasing this Sombra and they get out.
It was an early fight here for Order, which is basically ideal. Gives you more opportunities to fight later on down the track if you lose here. With only a minute 35, Mindfreak can't really afford to be messing around too much. That's why the Graviton Surge goes through quite early. Shatter down, though, is going to be the real make or break. There's quite a few Order players that get knocked over by that one.
Yeah, he runs into the middle of that Graviton Surge and drops the Shatter. Gets the Nano Boost too, so he does build up half of his Shatter again, and August coming up on that EMP very quickly means that it could be an advantaged fight here for the side of Mindfreak, with Jordation nowhere near that Transcendence. The beat drop just used from Unta.
Now, Order's probably going to have to win another 2 fights here.
They're going to have to go fast to get onto this cart early enough to get another fight off.
August behind enemy lines, does get forced away, the Translocator used.
Looks like they might resign themselves to only one more fight, which is quite dangerous considering they don't have the tools to deal with this EMP, unless Sign gets a really nice counter grab off.
Maybe if he gets it up in time, even.
It's true. August has seen this big stack on the right-hand side, and he really wants to go for it, but he knows that his team can't follow it up. So this is very well positioned from the side of Order here.
Well, the EMP does go through, it connects a lot. Quats is going to be the first loss for Order. Look at how close so many of the ultimates are. There's Graviton Surge through from Sign, but what are they going to be able to do with it? Everybody is dead right now. August is going to get shield bashed, but then Yuki takes one to the face as well. It's Bust charging him into the wall, and Well, Jordation, if he had the Transcendence up, Quads, if he was able to get the Shatter down, it might have been holdable for Order, but now seems as though it is just a matter of time for Mindfreak. Time of the essence, though, as they are starting to get fairly low, and Quads through this Transcendence is going to be able to tank quite a lot of that damage, gets his own Shatter down, charges back into really a corner, which is all that he's going to be able to do. We see the stall targets out from Order and Adam. Unless something huge came from that self-destruct, we can tell that the round is over. We're going to the time bank.
Sign on the stall. Widow only manages to get Aki, and that won't be enough to push this through, and it will go to extra time, but massive mistake out of Order there, I think, of only getting 2 fights off in that phase, and also the positioning. I applauded the positioning from Order at the end there, and it really looked like August was going to have a hard time getting an EMP, but unfortunately all of them managed to peek the ledge at the same time, so August gets the big EMP. It was a 5-man EMP, and they had no ults to deal with it. Oh, it was so close, yet so far from Order, and now they put themselves in a pressure situation. A minute 26 for them, a minute on the clock for Mindfreak.
It's not a huge difference, although it could be the difference between 1 fight and 2. Although I suppose given where the defense is set up here on Havana, that maybe the difference between 3 fights and 4, because we get the fights right out of the gate.
And if Mindfreak don't get picks with that DPS composition straight away, it can be quite difficult. But that being said, if they do, they saw the second fight in the first point for Order's defense was very poor. We saw Jordation getting picked off, and it kind of all fell apart from there. So that DPS composition can snowball pretty heavily. It is interesting that Jordation has rolled out on the Zenyatta as well. When you think you're going to be playing against DPS, you tend to roll out on the Ana. But he's still chosen that Zenyatta, so maybe he thinks they're going to switch it up a bit.
Not really much time for thinking for Order once this game does start. It's essentially win or lose. Win fights here or probably lose point A.
It's going to be quite difficult as August and Addy roll out from the different side. August will be looking for that hack onto Quads and getting really aggressive to punish it. Big Bionade comes out, and Jordation's already low. He gets knocked up. No, not quite by Bust. The shield from Quads manages to save him. And now there's a lot of pressure on this DPS composition.
Addy's definitely one of the players that you look to open this one up for Mindfreak, but he's being tagged quite nicely. It's a very good pulse driver.
Yeah, pile driver. Hunter flying at the spawn door.
Ooh, flying away from the spawn door might be where he wants to be. But honestly, still putting pressure on Addy.
So low, he's so risky doing this.
I think the fight's lost anyway, even whether or not Hunter gets picked at that point. It's a nice one for Mindfreak to start things off, though. It builds a lot of the ult charges up that may be able to carry them through point A.
The big biotic grenade there from Aki really opened the point up, and now as we drop into overtime, you see Winston coming out from Quads, but the side of Order, they're not really rich on ultimates. They only have the rally from Yuki.
Totally contrary to what Mindfreak have got. They've got 6 ultimates coming into this fight.
And because of the way the overtime works, your spawns are longer if you die in overtime, they're only going to be able to get 1 fight off here on the side of Order, and they're not going to have the ultimates to deal with this EMP, and they're all stacked up for it.
EMP actually, I think, only connected onto Quads. Rocket Barrage also goes a little bit awry. Nice bait from Order, but are they going to be able to turn this fight around? A lot of damage has gone into Quads, and he will eventually fall. There's still 5 players here for Order, still 5 fairly healthy players as well. If they could have held on for another couple of seconds. Sound Barrier was coming up for Hunter, and if that goes down, Jordation probably also gets his Transcendence out, but the cap secured by Mindfreak.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate that EMP, it didn't come off for August, but it did force Order into a bad position. We saw Quads drop very low and remain very low because he got isolated from his supports and he couldn't get any healing up, so Mindfreak was just able to poke around the corner and get a big advantage on this. And now we see the second phase. It can be difficult for Farah to play in here, especially with Adam getting up on top of those distillery drums.
Minefield through.
Addy's already picked off Jordation too, so that Transcendence is not going to be available this fight. Quads on the cart's going to go down very shortly. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Yuki in the face of Kiki's not going to be able to get much done as Wilco manages to pocket him through it.
Self-destruct straight onto the point here from Adam. Doesn't result in any kills, but buys the space. EMP from August connects only 3 of the Order players. One of them, though, being Adam, means Rocket Barrage is certainly an option. Kiki can't turn away fast enough. Adam will essentially cause Kiki to kill himself. Finally, it seems as though Order are finding the success that they need. Transcendence coming through from Jordation.
He's helping.
Certainly is. Standing up on the point, holding his arms out. And, well, good hold in the end from Order there. just as we go through point B doors, but that's definitely defendable for Mindfreak.
Definitely defendable. I mean, Order, they get stalled. They lose one fight on this offense. It's going to be very difficult for them to cap out. And with that fight close that Mindfreak, well, most teams do like to take on this map, it can be quite difficult now. Now, will Mindfreak pull out something a bit cheeky? Maybe a Bastion comp, maybe a Bunker comp, or will they stick
Is it
to
worth
the
the
gun?
risk at this point?
Well, I mean, you know the Order are going to run a 3-3, right? You've seen them do it before. So if you can hide a Bastion comp and then poke out last minute when they've pushed the card a little bit, will make it really difficult for them to swap. If they do it properly, it could be quite good, but it looks like they will be going to the Sombra Goats. This is something the Order will... I don't know if it'll be very good here. I mean, they're going to be waiting for August's EMP. That's going to be the go sign for them. Is that? But that might be on the second fight. If Order can get really aggressive here, they could really punish this Sombra pick on the side of Mindfreak.
Oh, sort of hanging in the balance, isn't it, really? This one could go either way. Mindfreak will be, I think, very disappointed if this ends up being a 3-1 for Order, especially given the solid start that they had.
Especially how close Volskaya was, how close this map has been too.
Well, you just think that if we go through to Nepal, given how strong Ilios was for Mindfreak, like that's going to be a bit of a question mark for Order.
Anyone's game though. Order doesn't have a hot win percent on that the Nepal, sorry.
Yep, only 1 out of 3 played. That would have, I think, been against Legacy.
Yeah, would have been last week.
Anyway.
Now we see the aggression going. As soon as Bus gets that Discord orb on him, they know that the personal barrier isn't there. I mean, the external barrier isn't there from Addy. And they know versus this Sombra, you have to go fast.
Yeah, they certainly have gone fast as well. That's not the kind of a start that Mindfreak would have been looking for, but they had a really solid attack of their own, so they have enough time to reset here for perhaps 2 more fights, it feels like.
They'll definitely get 1 more fight off, but that third fight might be a bit stressful.
It'll be a bit up and down, yeah.
It'll be a bit close. You see Sign trying to dominate the high ground here. He does take a lot of damage. Quad's up there too. They're not going to have the full 6-man support up there as they do have to push the cart.
Now Order not too keen on trying to challenge that high ground. Do drop back down. 30.
August gets picked off. He must not have had Translocator up. Sign just 100 to 0'd him with that beam.
Yeah, it's not good at all for Mindfreak. Pressure starting to mount now. With only 20 seconds for Order, it's not really as much of a factor when you can push in overtime. This is where I talk about the fact that, well, Mindfreak probably does still at least get a 3rd fight on through. Not in point A, but they're going to be able to contest for at least the final capture. So it just comes down to this one final fight. August.
This is for all the marbles. They've got the EMP, they've got the nano boost, they've got the ultimates that they do need on the side of Mindfreak. At the same time, Order getting dangerously close to that Transcendence. That's going to be the key.
Is August going to pull the trigger before Jordation can build his trance? There's not really many opportunities for Jordation here. You can still see him kind of hiding as well. He's got Transcendence. That's big now for Order. And August, he's still looking for it.
He's managed to bait out the Transcendence from Jordation. He thought he was going to use the EMP, but he didn't. Now it's on for Young and Old. Bus gets shattered on the
Here comes EMP. August straight in there, gets 5 man. And Order, they're all dropping as well. Onto the only one to find a frag. It's Signed with a Graviton Surge that might just still be able to salvage this if he goes absolutely bananas. But a Bionade straight on top of him is going to be the end of Signed, and Swilko picking that one up. It's going to be Mindfreak surely to win here on Havana, which should push us through to a tiebreaker. Order still trying to salvage it, trying to get onto the point, but Mindfreak picks the map up. Order a last-ditch effort, and you've got to give credit there to August. I mean,
what a play from August.
What can you do as Jordation, really? You kind of have to trance in that situation.
You definitely do. It's a high-stress situation, high-pressure situation. August has never done the fake before in this series.
Yeah.
I think it's the right play from Jordation, you know, but he needed to... Once that happened and the EMP didn't come out, they needed to get really aggressive and start, you know, getting in there. But Grav was really late from Sign. You didn't build it that fast. The Shadow only caught 1, which was bust, nano boosted. So it became really difficult for Order to get any sort of momentum off those picks.
I think the issue there as well for Order is like it's kind of difficult to get aggressive in a situation like that because they're all sort of on the low ground.
Yeah.
MF's all up on the high ground, and you know how are you really going to be able to contest that? Even with the Transcendence, like sure you can push forward, but it's going to take you a good 5 or 6 seconds to sort of get into a position actually to start putting damage into Mindfreak. And by that stage, Transcendence is going to have run out, more or less. So really, really nicely done from August. That's a big brain play. And for Jordation, probably it kind of sucks, I guess. But like again, I don't think you can really necessarily fault him there, unless he would have had like the massivest brain play, like 9,000 IQ to not trance that. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't trans that, you're like playing on another level. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. You're making the percentage play there by transing it, which is the correct play, but it's just unfortunate this time it doesn't pay off and makes you look like a bit of a nonce. But well played to August there to switch things up a little bit. Changing your behavior and your patterns a little bit makes it very hard for the enemy team to read the Sombra player.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge indeed. Well, it pushes us through to Nepal, and now things start to get a bit exciting, a bit interesting.
Oh, it certainly does.
It felt for such a while there that Order was just going to clean that series up. You know?
Yeah, it did feel like they were going to run away with it, especially when they full capped Havana. It becomes very difficult for the enemy team to full cap it, but credit to Mindfreak, they managed to get through, and I don't know, that fight to only the choice to only take 2 fights on the Rialto third is really what switched things up for me. I think they really missed something there, Order.
Well, maybe they can make amends for it on Nepal. It doesn't really matter exactly how well either team wins this series. Like, it's not a case of, we need a 3-1 or a 3-0 or a 4-1 or a 4-0, 4-0 I should say, not a 4-1. But a win is enough, I think, for either of the two teams here, because a win for Mindfreak puts them at 4-1, which is kind of uncatchable in a way, because they still have a really good map record against all of the other teams. Better than anyone except for Warriors. And for Order, it not only equalizes Mindfreak, it puts them back up there, and then you look at Ground Zero and Warriors, and the only way that they kind of come out negative from that situation is if Ground Zero beats Warriors next, but you'd obviously have to predict toward Warriors in that instance. So
it's a tough ask.
It's a very tough ask here for both teams. A hugely important match, and it comes down to the tiebreaker. We've had a few tiebreakers so far this season.
It's been an incredibly close season, and that's what you love to see. These teams, as they're progressing, as the tournament gets deeper, it gets closer and closer. So Legacy now, they've had 2 tiebreaker games. Now Order has 2 tiebreaker games as well.
Yeah.
So,
Order has got a better conversion rate.
So, who's the money on? Mindfreak, Order, best of 3 Nepal.
Who am I betting my remaining 6 chicken nuggets on?
I don't know how
many have you got?
Oh, let's have a look. 4.
All right, we'll bet 4 nuggets each.
All right.
I'm going to go Mindfreak.
Yeah, Order up. Come on. Save me nuggets, boys.
I'm going to be back at my 10 nuggets after this one. All right.
Fat chance. Look at the point they've got. They got the shrine point.
Is that good?
Yes. This is the 3-3 point. Kiki might try and play Farah here like they did last week, but it's going to be very difficult to play it. And Order... Oh, no. Signs on Sombra. I'm handing my nuggets over already. They've looked rough on that Sombra, especially when Sign's been playing it.
Is it going to be the lock, though? Because I can tell you what, Farah is not going to be the lock for Quats. You can never back it until it's out of the gate.
That's true. Quats goes on to the Winston, but I think this Sign Sombra is going to be what comes out.
No Zarya.
No Zarya. It is the Diva. They want the Diva to deal with the Farah Mercy.
Well, it is going to be the sign on the Sombra. And Addy's got Widowmaker as well. That's another scary prospect for Order.
It is, but we saw last week how difficult it was to make Widowmaker work on this point. They are able to use line of sights to dodge the Widowmaker as Addy flies over the top, and they are going to 3-3. This is exactly what Order would have wanted. They've made the correct read, and they've managed to force them onto something that they're very comfortable on. We saw this last week during Around the Rosie with Mindfreak, where they essentially took 30 seconds, 40 seconds to get the point. But it looks
Mindfreak's actually capping.
Order will give up the point here. They were the last team to swap, so it becomes difficult to capture the point first. But they are on their comfort composition.
Yep.
August has managed to poke himself up a little bit of EMP charge though, and that's key. But August goes very low, and he dies now straight to Adam. This opens the fight up for Order.
Yeah, really just over-investing into that when he got the hack onto Unter. I think that's what sort of kept him there. He was thinking, you know, I might be able to make that big play, but was not quite able to do it. Order with a very, very fast cap back. So August, he might have been the player to put Mindfreak through to the tiebreaker, but so far in the tiebreaker, hasn't really been able to do a whole lot for MF just yet.
No, and the right clicks are coming in from Addy, doing a bit of damage to the backline here. Quats almost gets hacked there by August. A manual hack, but Unter's all over him. Like a terrier on a tennis ball. Unter on this Sombra.
Has to back away there. And again, the opening pick of the fight is going to favor Order.
Yeah, it definitely does. And now the spawn, the stagger kills come through. Order managed to build up some nice ultimate charge here. August still very low on that EMP. Uncharacteristic of him. He's been beautiful all series on this Sombra. Quats accidentally hitting shift there. Think about a new keyboard there, young Samuel.
97% for pots though. It's a little bit lacking on the Mindfreak side, although they're kind of getting there. Up for the high ground contest again. Yuki gets hacked, but backs away to the safety of his team. Now Bus has got the nano boost and just charging like a battering ram at order. He's not really doing much battering, is he? EMP goes across. It's a 6-man EMP. Great one from August. 2 kills there as well to reward himself. And the cap quickly back across to Mindfreak. You're not going to get one of those every day, but when you do, you want to capitalize on it.
They certainly did there. They managed to clean it up with the EMP, Nano Boost, and Earth Shatter used, though. That leaves themselves very vulnerable to this signed Graviton Surge next fight. If he can build it up. He's been quite slow on this. Onto a slow on the beat, too. August almost gets the one clip onto Jordation, but the friends turn around in time to save him. Now, this is a very important fight for Order. They really need to get this fight win here, otherwise it gets to one-fight territory next. And Aki, he's on the prowl, ready for this sleep, ready for the nade. He goes in, but he doesn't manage to get it off.
Well, transfer from Jordation keeps everyone okay through. Back onto Quartz. It doesn't seem to have caused an issue. Wow, that certainly causes an issue for Mindfreak. 3 from Adam.
My MVP of the match, Adam, he just keeps delivering on this Diva hero. He's been absolutely instrumental. He was so big on Volskaya. He was beautiful as well on Hollywood too. So he's had an absolute belter of a series.
Got to give him some of your chicken nuggets. Yeah, it's Quartz that's trying to force the issue. Another 6-man EMP from August. This time perhaps not quite as good for Mindfreak. They're not all in position really to capitalize on it, but still. They knock Quartz over, and that might well be enough to win the fight with the Reinhardt down. A nice sound barrier there just in time through from Swilko, but August still dies to Jordation.
Forcing a lot of ults out on the side of Mindfreak to retake this. Bus goes for the top-down shadow, but the Jordation's Transcendence does answer it, and they know that the EMP's not there. The flanking shadow hits. It only hits Addy, though. The charge comes in and knocks down Bus. Bus has the external shield to keep himself safe, but he does end up going down to Adam. Adam with another Diva Bomb too. What can this catch? Nothing.
Nothing, but it doesn't need to catch anything. Order are going to win at least the first round on Nepal.
Order were punished for chasing there by losing Quartz, but they managed to kite it out and keep the point active in their control. Just enough time. Signed gets that Graviton Surge up and they re-engage with it.
Yeah.
Jordation gets the pick on August, and all of a sudden it's even Stevens. 1-0,
right.
Those nuggets are looking mighty tasty over there, Jordan.
Yeah, it might be a bit cold. But we still do have 2 more rounds, potentially 2. And
Kiki's on the May.
got the 3-3 map sort of out of the way, although I will argue you can kind of run 3-3 on this one here as well. I mean, you can run 3-3 on all points of Nepal.
Yeah, you definitely can, but that's the map that suits it the best, I guess. Yeah. This is scary, though. The Kiki May coming out. May has been the kryptonite for Order so far.
It's the good map for May as well, 10% damage buff on Nepal because of the
snow. Yep.
Snow. That's not true.
I wish it was. That'd make things a lot more interesting. But it is a good map for the May, just because of the geography of the point.
Yeah.
The layout lends itself to this May wall having...
Order want absolutely nothing to do with that. They're going to go back to spawn.
And they're swapping to DPS. They're too spooked. They are way too spooked by this May. Flashbacks. Horrible flashbacks to Quad J. A composition they're not that well practiced on though, DPS, for Order. They did have a good showing earlier on, but Mindfreak have retreated to that little cubby house now, and it'll be hard to get them out of there.
Sort of feel like it's riding a bike though for Order, you know? They get back straight onto it.
Yeah, certainly, and they are very talented DPS players in their own right. Signed and Yuki have been staples of the Contenders finals on DPS for the last few seasons. As we see them just poking up to try and get these ultimates. That's what's important. Adam, 50% on his EMP. But Sign manages to get a Storm Arrow headshot onto Aki, and that'll be the start of the fight. Jordation trades onto August as August kills Sign. Bus manages to pin Adam. This is anyone's game at the moment.
Yeah, next pick probably does decide it. There's going to be a revive onto Sign, which could actually prove quite impactful indeed. Someone's going to be walled off, still looking for some damage. Oh my god, he absolutely decks Swilko. Still the point is in the favour of Mindfreak at this point. The Storm Arrow through. Other the Dragon Strike, but you know, same sort of thing, I suppose. They both do damage. And Order's able to cap.
Signed again showing off his ridiculous natural talent on that aim.
That flick, man.
He's quite good.
That's 57% for Mindfreak, which is not too bad at all.
And
Mindfreak
Mindfreak
Kiki off.
They've swapped on to this 2-2-2 composition with the Sombra Tracer. This is something they have shown a lot versus DPS compositions. I'm not sold that it's the best option, but they seem to have a lot of trust in it. They are going to be running to the EMP this fight. That's going to make things very difficult.
Adam's going to get a pretty decent one across there, which opens the door for the Rocket Barrage. Yuki will get 2 and a DMEC. And the fight's over pretty quickly indeed. I mean, not much to really say about that one for Mindfreak.
No, not at all. And I actually think that if Order lose the next fight, or if they lose a fight, they might go just swap to Goats themselves. They don't have much experience playing against this 2-2-2 Sombra Tracer, and is very easily countered by that 3-3 composition. Hunter flying dangerously close to the ground there. August might have been able to pick up a manual hack on him there and punch him. Wasn't keen though. Laudation getting pounced upon by the enemy team. Everyone's just piled in on him.
Yeah, just a little bit out of position, even despite the pocket there from Hunter. It's just too much damage coming across. Still a good trade back, but actually, the cap's there for Mindfreak. Revive does come onto Jordation, but we're still even numbers considering Yuki drops. The rest are starting to have some problems as well. Order, I mean, Sign's now in here on Tracer, but Addy certainly is the one that's taking the star performance. And Sign being hacked up as well probably marks the end of his film career, I suppose, if we're to continue with those analogies. And on Order, well, with 82% up here for Mindfreak, you sort of theorised, are they going to swap back to...
I think they're missing a beat here, not swapping to 3-3, but they are going to be running into an EMP, so swapping Goats into an EMP is quite disastrous. So they might be...
I mean, DPS into EMP is not going to be fun either.
Yeah, it looks like August is going to be looking at this Pharaoh Mercy. He really wants to get the hack on him. He throws the Translocator up, he just catches both of them. Hunter goes down very quickly, and now the overtime ticks down.
Test is on at the very least for Order, but that might be all that they're going to get out of this fight, unfortunately. They get off the point too.
Adam throws the EMP out, but it doesn't catch anything. Oh, now Mynugger's not looking too safe either. This is... Oh, this is very, very close. They tried the DPS composition now, but they just didn't have the point contest. Mindfreak get a free capture point there, and in the clutch moments, Order just weren't able to close it out. Now what are we going to see? What are we going to see on this third and final point? It's a point where both teams have been running a lot of Winston 3-3. Jordation, he's locked in Zenyatta. He's like, follow me, boys. I'm going to carry this one.
He's been good on the Zenyatta so far.
He's been very solid on the Zenyatta. That one tiny misplay or outplay from August, but apart from that, he's been absolutely stellar on that hero. And it is the Winston 3-3 mirror. This is something I'd back in Order every day of the week. Cots on Winston, Jordation on Zenyatta. It's signature staple heroes.
Can't disagree with you. I would also probably be backing Order on a composition like this. To be honest, I was actually expecting more of a bunker kind of a setup from Mindfreak here, but it seems like they want to go toe-to-toe with Order. And immediately you can see, just looking at the health bars, how much this is favouring Order. Bust and Kiki go fairly low, so Mindfreak just disengage the fight once again. Quad sleeping on forward, straight on top of the Zarya. Yuki's now down to a one-shot, but he also keeps himself alive. This is just hanging on the precipice. One more kill. One kill itself is going to really turn the tide, and it's going to be Hunter that gets bust. Yuki
goes off the map. Spulko with a nice boop there, evens up the fight. Now August trying to get onto the point to contest, but Quats is in his way, and Quats is getting dangerously close to that Primal Rage.
Spulko looking for another boop. There's an opportunity, but the bubbles come up just in time. Sound barrier's down early. Kiki gets demec'd.
The stacked support ults from Order, but here's Quaddy. He's got 2 off the map with the Primal Rage. He's going for the third of Bust, and he does get him. That is an easy fight reset, but a lot invested from Order. They invest both the support ults there at the same time, so a mistake there. The Primal Rage is well invested.
Jeez. That kind of had it all, didn't it? Well, he used his own Transcendence, so I suppose that takes a bit of the sting off of Order using both of their support ultimates, but still Swilko has Sound Barrier available. This
Graviton Surge is going to be very hard to deal with. It's going to lead Bustle to his Primal Rage too, which is dangerous on this map, as Quats just showed then. This is really edge-of-the-seat stuff. It's anyone's game at this point. Adam meets Addy's grab!
No way. How does that happen again? Sign is going to get his across, of course, and... well, that might even just win the map, honestly, for Order. Look at the swing and ult economy that's given them. Quats back up on the Primal Rage. Jordation's at 54%.
Adam's been an absolute monster this series. A little monster. He's played out of his skin, saving Order time and time again. And now they're going for the aggressive engage here. Quats has the Primal Rage. Yuki has the rally. But Swilko answers with beat. But Aki looking like he's going to go for a fly, and he does.
Yeah, he's gone sailing off into the distance. No one knows where he'll end up. We'll see. Maybe. I just don't know that this is going to be too kind on Mindfreak at all. They've lost too much off the back of the last
the
fight.
spawn camping is coming out. Yuki dropping very low though. He needs to be very careful. Doesn't want to get a trade kill there. But this is Order showing their pedigree. This is their class popping out. Adam's been a monster as mentioned, and they've just put in so much pressure. Well,
when push comes to shove, Order's out to play. 91% for Aki, 98% for Mindfreak. This is really their last-ditch attempt. 85% is up for Order, so Mindfreak are going to have to throw everything at this point. Bust throws himself straight at Jordation, but actually cleans up Signed. He'll take it at this point. He'll take anything. Bust will be chased by Quad. Someone needs to help him out. Get that trance up, fellas. Doesn't look like it's come up early enough. In fact, Aki still hanging on to it, and with rally down onto August, I mean, maybe there's still a chance for Mindfreak here. They're going to continue the push onto the point.
This Primal Rage could be dangerous from Quads if he manages to get it up, and he does.
But is he going to be able to do anything with it? Looks as though Mindfreak are playing around it fairly nicely. Finally now, the Transcendence is thrown in from Aki. Self-destruct won't do too much, but off goes
Quads
Kiki.
gets 2!
Addy as well. Quads again is going to be able to get the damage done with the Primal Rage. Unta will boop August, and that'll be the map, that'll be the match, and that'll be the series for Mindfreak. Unfortunately, just slipping away. Order picks it up 3-2 with a 2-1 win on Nepal.
Boy, did they need that too. They looked great on Hollywood. They looked okay on other parts of the maps, okay on Volskaya, but wow, what a series we've just had. Another incredibly close one going down to the wire. These two teams, that must have taken a lot out of them. Well played to both.
It took a while, didn't it? I mean, that series was looking like it was going to be a fairly quick one, and then all of a sudden we're here with a 3-2 and a 2-1 as well on Nepal. Like, it goes the distance. I'll be interested to see what Unta's thoughts are going to be on that one when he goes and does his
post-game tweet.
Esports casting on his
own on his own channel, yeah.
On his own Twitch channel.
Certainly interesting.
I don't know, does he cast his own games? I haven't really been paying that much attention.
He does a review of his own games every now and then.
I mostly just go in there and say mean things to him, and then he says mean things to me, and then someone clips it and puts it on Twitter or takes a screenshot, and anyway, that's we'll talk about that later. Anyway, great stuff. Jeez. Just trying to collect myself after that game. It's a bit crazy.
Both teams had such big players at the start of the series. Ilios, Kiki played an absolute masterclass on Brick. Him and Bus were combining for those bash shadows over and over and over again, really ruining Order. And then Adam played beautifully as well. He even had a good showing on the Sombra on Volskaya. So that's good signs for Order. But Quat's really clutching it out on this Nepal.
Every time, even when I'm watching like a replay, you know, someone gets so close to that edge, you're like, ooh, they're going off.
It's so nerve-wracking. Even as a spectator, as a player, you're really, clenching up when that happens. You don't want to go
I'm so for more environmental hazards near points, by the way.
Oh, it's beautiful as a spectator, right? You love to see it, but you hate it as a player. As a player, you just feel so robbed.
Yeah, it's unfair, but like...
When you're 100% HP, you're owning on the point, you're doing so well, and then all of a sudden some sky frog comes down from nowhere and just boops you, and you feel robbed.
Yeah.
You feel robbed of your life and robbed of your dignity, too.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's awful.
Definitely a lot of things to choose from there for the Macca's player of the game. I know we'll get to that in a bit, but...
there's so many.
Some nuggies on the line, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, hand them over, mate.
Here we go. There we go.
On ya.
Unfortunately, I've lost my chicken McNuggets for today. Thanks, Mindfreak. And by the way, I just want to point out, old mate Joel reckons I'm biased against Mindfreak. I predicted Mindfreak to win that one.
Mindfreak, but
unfortunately, you've done me dirty, so it's down with Mindfreak for the rest of the season.
You're not getting freaky anymore, are you?
No, I'm not getting freaky. I'm ordering up. I've ordered up some McNuggets. They've been taken by Smash. Like, how much worse can my day get, really, at this point?
Not sure.
I'm hoping that at least the Ground Zero Warriors game is going to be good, because if it's not...
if it's half as good as that game, then we're in for a real treat, aren't we?
We certainly would be. Well, look, a bit of a salvage, right, for Order, that feels like. Job's not really done for them. There's still a couple of weeks left in the season. They still need to get those wins.
They've still got the Warriors mountain to climb too, so that's going to be a very difficult game next week. But they're heading in the right direction now. They're finally getting some wins on the board, looking a little bit better. I mean, Mindfreak is no slouch. They're a really tough opponents. For their Order to get the win over them after such a rotten run of form so far, that's really positive signs.
Well, time for us to take a quick look at the Macca's player of the game. It is Order and Mindfreak, and the Macca's player of the game is going to go to Bus. on the Reinhardt.
He gets that big shatter. This is Kiki and Bust combining. This was the first ults of the game, I believe, going all the way back then, if you can remember that. But my god, that was just a gigantic shatter out of Bust, and Kiki. He's really setting him up for success, as he did many times on this map, and that is a worthy Macca's play of the game.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, that's the one where, like, you saw that shatter go down, you're like, yeah, that's the fight over.
Yeah, definitely.
All I need to see is him saying, hammer down. Like, I don't even need to see the shatter hit, and I'm like, that's done.
You could feel that one coming a mile off. Big Bustle.
Bustle.
Didn't get the W, but he did get the Macca's play of the game.
Yeah, weigh it up. I feel like at this point, Mindfreak probably...
I think you'd rather the W, but...
Probably rather the W.
A consolation prize is nonetheless.
Because a win here for Mindfreak today probably means that they've got a pretty cruisy run for the rest of the season into second place, and then through to the semi-finals, and from there potentially to finals. Who really knows? Now, yeah, the job's pretty tough really for Mindfreak, and still for Order, but it kind of throws the middle of the pack more into disarray. What I would really love to see here, Smash, is if Ground Zero beats Warriors.
That would really throw things just out of whack completely. It would be upsy downtown if that's what's happening, but it can happen.
Imagine Ground Zero beats Warriors, Order beats Warriors, then I think Ground Zero's in first place.
Yeah, they would be. And if Ground Zero capitalized on that situation, they'd be able to win the next game next week or the one after, and then they would definitely be in first position. It's a big ask though, beating the Warriors. They've looked on form all season. They have looked sloppy at the back end of the series though. So if Ground Zero are going to get wins, it's going to come at the back of the series, I reckon.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we are going to have to find out, aren't we, Smash? We've got a quick break coming up here, but you don't want to go anywhere. It is really, at this point, feels like a top of the table clash with Warriors and Ground Zero. So